think people look at Bitcoin now and they, maybe they just heard about it now. Maybe they heard about it years ago when it was a couple hundred, a couple $1,000s. It's now a lot more than that. It's got a big kind of scary price tag attached to it. Of course, you can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. You can buy, a few Satoshis. You can buy, a dollar worth of Bitcoin. But still, you look at this and you say, come on, I must have missed the boat. Like this, what is this can't just go up forever. Maybe there's some other, meme coin or some other speculative investment that I can look into because I've missed Bitcoin. What do you say to those people? How do you convince someone that we're still early when they see that big, big price shock of how high Bitcoin has gone?
Well, I think that's a human reaction. If the price was per Satoshi, it would still feel like a bargain. And one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. So you can get, almost 1,000 Satoshis for $1. And a price like that, it sounds super cheap. Right? And so it's just human frame of reference and, price anchors. But I'll tell you a couple of things. The way I think about Bitcoin is the amount of Bitcoin that I own is I have a share in all future human economic activity forever. And I have that share. Physically, I have that share. I'm the only one who can control that share. It's actually mine. It's the only thing in the world that you can actually own. It's like buying a share in a company. You might own a small share of Amazon or Apple or Strategy. But it's just a share enforced by promises. You don't actually own it. There's nothing you can actually own that nobody can take off you other than Bitcoin. And so, framed like that, it's absolutely still a bargain because the penetration of the total value of all the Bitcoin that exists is circa $2 trillion, and the total asset base globally is $1,000 trillion. So it's 0.2%, 0.2% of everything that currently exists. And so by buying Bitcoin, I'm owning a share of everything forever that I can secure my family's future on. I can look after my children, my grandchildren. I can help the other people I care about. I can build more businesses. I can help drive future value of that by accelerating our move to a global free market. And it's Bitcoin is going to allow us to unlock a human renaissance. That sort of level of civilizational change, but it's really just not obvious. It's not obvious because it's 0.2%. Most people still think it's worthless. And so we are incredibly early, absolutely incredibly early. And the second part of your question was around meme coins or something like this. And it comes back to what we talked about before, and that people don't have a clear sense as to what money is or what money should represent because we've been disassociated from it, from this paper layer we've been using for the last 50 odd years. The money is meant to represent your economic energy, your economic contribution, the value you bring to somebody else, which you exchange for money so that you can then use that money in the future to pay someone else for their contribution, right? That's meaningful to you. Fiat has broken that link. But before fiat, we had the gold standard. And on the gold standard, your fiat, your paper was convertible to gold underneath. Now, most people wouldn't have an issue with gold being considered valuable. or gold being considered money. But gold has been money in the past, but it's just compromised because it's not particularly useful as money. It's hard to carry around. It's not very divisible. You can't really verify whether it's real gold or whether it's tungsten or something like that very easily. And you can't send it over the internet. And you don't want to get attacked with a wrench if you're carrying a big bag of gold. There are lots of things that compromise the ability of gold to be used as money. But most people wouldn't question that it could be or would be perfectly fine too, from a value perspective. And I think the link that people realize in their minds, but perhaps haven't articulated, is why do I think gold is valuable? And I think gold is valuable because A, it's been valuable for a long time, fair enough. But more sort of deeper than that is that gold is hard to produce. It has these characteristics which make it a reasonable money, like a compromised money, but ultimately it's really hard to produce. You can't just magic it. You can't just print more gold. You've got to go and actually mine the gold. Like the gold exists, it's under the surface, and there's a lot of it, and it's infinite in the universe. But above the ground, the way you produce it is by expending a load of energy to produce it or to mine it. And that's what makes it valuable. The combination of the energy expended and its limited supply. Now, once people realize, well, yes, almost like, yeah, of course that's true. Okay, well, I've got something great for you, right? Bitcoin is the apex energy money. Like gold is just really inefficient energy money. You spend a lot of energy getting out of the ground, which is a sort of proxy for your economic energy, and then people are willing to swap whatever they've produced for gold, which has been brought into existence because you expended your energy. Like they're one and the same thing, right? But it was just really inefficient. Bitcoin is the end state. Bitcoin is pure energy money. You have to do work to bring it into existence. And it's through a global free market process. Everybody globally can compete to produce the Bitcoin. They can't control the rate at which it's produced, and it's fixed over time. But everyone can compete. There is proof of work to bring the money into existence on a free market process. Absolutely, that makes it valuable. It makes it a ton more valuable than gold. It's not inefficient money. It's not hard money with soft edges that, if the price goes up, they can go and dig more out the ground. It's 100% efficient energy money with a fixed supply forever. And you can send it over the internet, and nobody can stop you sending or receiving it. And no one can prove you own it or don't own it. You can carry it in your head. I mean, it's apex money. There's nothing after it. There's nothing after it. So if you've convinced yourself that gold has value, you're going to love Bitcoin once you connect the dots. And you frame that against a backdrop of being at 0.2% of all assets globally. And by owning it, you own a future share in all human economic activity forever. Like, it's a pretty compelling case. And you then balance that against, well, I can work for something someone else prints for free, and I'll keep it in a bank account, and maybe I'm allowed to use it. Maybe they allow me to send it to that person over there. Maybe, or maybe not. Or maybe they'll let me take it out the bank, or maybe not. And that's a melting ice cube, and it's going to go to zero purchasing power unless I speculate with it, or unless I spend it. And it's making me unhealthy, and it's making me poorer because of all the secondary effects and all of these things. Or I can opt out, and I can own the thing they can't print. I can own the thing that everybody's going to connect the dots to eventually. there's just no contest.